Usa ka pagtuo, usa ka tingog, usa ka katawhan. Cebu Catholic Television Network.
Good morning Cebu, good morning Philippines. Welcome na usab sa atong tulumanon CCTN International Pinoy Journeys. Ako na usab si Divine Marshall Flores live gikan diri sa New Brunswick, Canada.
Ug ako na usab si Tony Ortega live gikan sa Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. Maayong buntag Cebu ug maayong hapon Canada.
Yes, maayong hapon nimo diha Brad Tony. Grabe ang amo diri sa New Brunswick the other day. Dunay hurricane nga niigo, at least wala kayo maigo ang among area. But ubay-ubay ang mga lugar sa Nova Scotia ang nawad-an og kuryente. Naapektuhan, nabahaan sila tungod sa kusog nga bagyo. Sa ato bagyo diri hurricane. Kumusta ang weather diha sa imong nahimutangan karon sa British Columbia?
Karon di ba murag mo paingon na gyud, nagpahiyom na ang haring adlaw, murag nagpasabot nga mo paingon na gyud ta sa pagka fall season, pero bisan pa man ingon ani Divine, naagihapon kita na nangin nanikay-sikay sa atong journey isip mga Pilipino naa sa gawas karon. Pero Divine,
Yes.
na-distract kayo ko sa akong nabasahan kay nagbagyo mo sa Des Pilipinas ug nag-hurricane diha sa imuha. Nagbagyo mo sa Des Pilipinas.
Yes, unya ang problema sa ato kung magbagyo kay magbaha. And karon lang Brad Tony na naminaw ko sa news sa ato, niabot na og more than 59 ang value sa peso against dollar. So, ang mga negosyante medyo affected yun tungod kay interest rate musaka because sa pag-weaken sa value sa atong peso.
Tinuod na Attorney Divine, o niya ning taas ang value sa peso, ning taas ang ato pong dolyar diri sa Canada karon mura og man sad og naapektado kay ang kahit nakanotice man siguro ka Divine nga ang gasolina ta nato karon ning taas. Sa niaging semana ning ang atong gasolina nag-abot ra to og $1.87 ngaron sa amo diri karon Divine niabot na og $2.32.
Oh my God. So ingon sa ato pa kining atong trend karon nga ni saka tanan, murag it's not only in the Philippines no, hasta sa ubang dapit sa atong kalibutan. But I don't know aning atong guest karon Brad Tony, kining atong guest nanukad ni sa Ireland, but this time ato siyang nasakpan nagbakasyon sa New York.
So dili apektado, dili kay apektado kay sa Ireland naabot sa New York, hayahay ra kay siguro ni.
Sana all. So kining guest originally she's from Tangub City, nanarbaho siya sa Ireland. O of course nabihag niya Brad Tony no. Nabihag siya taga Ireland og dito na siya naminyo nanganak og dito na siya ni raise sa iyang family sa Ireland. Ako ni siyang kauban kaniadto schoolmate sa Osami City sa Misamis Institute of Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome usa ka Pilipina nga karon tuwa na sa Ireland, but this time atong ikauban gikan sa New York, USA, si Jovy Fitzgerald. Hi Jov, maayong
Hello, maayong hapon from New York, live from Broadway.
Wow.
Times Square here. Yeah, I'm vacationing here, pero I was listening to you talking about the dollars and peso. Apektado gyapon mi kay actually euro is always higher than dollar, but this time dollar is actually higher than it kind of it fluctuates here and there sometimes, but most of the time for the last few days I think dollar mas higher siya sa euro. So normally when people from Ireland I think go to New York or the US, so they have the benefits of spending the euro against dollar and they'll get more. But this time, because it's kind of $1 to a euro, and most days recently mas taas pang dollar, so I actually find the US very very expensive. Yeah.
Ah,
So it's yeah, even Paddy who was here before, natingala pud siya kay mahal kayo ang mahal kayo ang US at this time around. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So at
Oh.
least Brad Tony, dili lang kita ang na-affected, no? Ubay-ubay ang naapektuhan. So karon atong ikauban si Jovy aron atong pangumustahon ang iyang journey. Jo, before ta mag-discuss sa imong journey sa Ireland, well, naapa ka sa Pilipinas, unsang hitabo nganong napunta ka sa Ireland? And before ka nilarga sa Ireland, unsay imong trabaho sa Philippines?
Okay, so like you said, we were from MIT, Misamis Institute of Technology. Because when I mention MIT, my girls thinks that I'm actually from MIT, the MIT here in the US. So I said no, it's MIT in the Philippines. So I graduated mass communication like yourself. Then I worked in. They used to be doing newscasting, I think probably like yourself as well. But when I graduated, akong mama na siya kaila. So they were saying that there was an opportunity to come to Ireland, which wasn't really my plan. But because of, there is always that, like if you go abroad, you will do more than just staying in the Philippines. So obviously I grabbed that opportunity, and just thinking I will only be there for a couple of years. So it happens that the first I stayed for 4 years before ko nakauli. And imbis na bihag na ako si Paddy, ako minailad. No, joke. Naminyo ko og Irish. So the rest is history. So mao na to siya ang pinaka-start. So I was doing a newscasting back in the Philippines, which I thought it was good. It was a good job. And then the opportunity to come to Ireland, even better. And then I met my husband there, Paddy, and you met Paddy before.
Yeah.
In the Philippines when you were still there. And so we have 2 girls now, and we're now in Cork. It's the south of Ireland. So
kano sa kaning kuan mo nag-migrate or nanggikan sa Pilipinas paingon sa Ireland?
2000. So I graduated in 1998, I think, and then I worked for a year and a bit sa Pilipinas. Dayon pagka 2000, mga late 2000 ning larga ko pingong Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Pag ato nimo sa Ireland, unsa man nga klase sa work ang imong gisudlan, or was it a working visa or tourist?
Oh, it was a working visa, so we're legal. So it was a 2-year working visa in a hotel. So we work in a restaurant. And then like at the time, you really need to do your contract in a way. But then after that, you can kind of change. But provided nga naapilain nga mo process imong visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for 2000 to 2004 sa hotel, and then I moved to another company which is Marks and Spencer. But at the time, nanginahanglan gyapon ko visa kay I wasn't an Irish citizen at the time. Pero sa pag-apply na ako, wala ko kabalo nga they really required me, but they took me in. So but then during the process, nag-apply na po ko sa akong Irish visa, citizenship, I mean. So while I was working there, that I should have required to have they don't process visa. But then I don't know what happened, and before I knew it, I got my citizenship anyway, so I was okay to work all the way until last year. So I was there for 16 and a half years, and then I kind of moved job then. So
magtrabaho ka dito, na ba kay opportunity to become a permanent resident dito o wala pa ka maminyo?
Yeah, actually, I got my citizenship before not with my marriage status. So back in our time, I think you can apply when you're there 5 years.
Mm.
But what happened was I actually applied when I was there 4 years because I was thinking that with the processing it would take a year. So by the time they'll process my application, I would have been there 5 years. So I got my citizenship when I was there 6.5 years, which is really good because it would take a lot of time. Loads of people that goes in there, they didn't get it until after maybe 8 or 9 years. But I was just thinking ahead nga, when kung mga apply ko, by the time they get my application, it would have been 5 years anyways. So I think that the time, I don't know if it was and it wasn't hard to. I think it was hard, but it wasn't. I don't know what happened anyways, but I got my citizenship before my marriage status. So yeah.
Okay. Pag-start ni mo work dito in a hotel, actually mo ni struggle sa mga OFW, Brad Tony, kay ang trabaho sa ato medyo mas gaan compared kung mo trabaho ka sa gawas. And
Yes, yes. Sure, yeah.
if same sad ang inyong experience dito no nga nagtrabaho sa hotel nga matud pa nila wad to the max ang mga OFW kung mo trabaho ta sa gawas kay dili ingon ana ka sayon. So in your case, ingon ana ang imong na-experience, Jo?
So we got to Ireland in September, I think the end of September or October. So it was winter time. So because very cold in Ireland, we were allowed to stay in the hotel accommodation, but we were told we weren't encouraged to stay, and we were told to really go. But because of the weather, I think we really asked, can we stay, because it was really hard, and that was part of one of the main struggle. It was the weather. It was really cold, and then so we work in a restaurant, so it was like 7 in the morning to say it was a split shift, so 7 to 11, and then mubalik kag mga 6 to 11 at night. So at the first kind of few months we were there, because lagi ning basta nata sa Pilipinas, basta mukad mo magkugi lang ka sa trabaho, you will earn as much. So in between some shifts, we were looking for a part-time jobs. Maybe whatever it would, I don't know, it was ironing, cleaning, whatever. So we did it. There's another girl that I did it. There was 4 of us actually originally, but it's only myself and another girl who did it. But we only lasted for two days. Because the hotel work was really tough for us, because like that we weren't used to. She worked in the bank, I work in the station, for example. So we weren't used to the split shifts, the late nights, the heavy work, the heavy lifting. We weren't used to that, but we have to put our head down and keep doing it anyways, and thinking, look, will people think that if you work harder, you get more money and stuff like that. So we did it, but the work hotel was enough for us. So we did try 2 days, and we said we're not going to do it again. Now I know there are still loads of people who does from one job to another and back to back. And in fairness to them, when you have that, I suppose when you have a bigger responsibility, you would do that. And especially when you have children at home, it was just so happen nga mga single me, so our money was going to our parents. But then we were not as pressure to, we can still have our own money. So I think that's what happened, that no, it didn't work for us to have a back-to-back, because the work in the hotel was really hard. So we were happy to do our hotel work, and the earnings wasn't bad at the time. So it was good earnings. So I thought it was more than enough, and like that we were single, so we were fine, we're happy. So yeah. But I know that even now, I know that there are loads of people who goes from one job to another, and they're killing their bodies for doing it. And I don't think it's good, but it's not so good, because you're mobalik sa imong lawas, ingon sila mobalik sa imong lawas, ang there's nothing compensate good health. So you just make do what you have. Yeah.
So at that time katong nag-work mo sa hotel job, kung i-compare mo sa sweldo sa ato, pilay ma-earn ninyo ka ang sa gawas man good is per hour ang rate, no? Ang sa ato is per day. Unya, according to them, ang kita sa ato og 1 month, kitaon ra nato sa gawas og 2 days. So sa imong case, ingon ana ang nahitabo?
Yeah, I think it was something like that, and even more. Because when the first Filipinos came over to Ireland, the bank were really generous. So the bank were lending loans and like there's not much requirement. So I know a lot of people who took, like say in 2001 they took 10,000 say euro. That's a lot of money now for at that time 22 years ago. So but like people like banks were giving out letters that you're pre-approved with loans, and I know some people did it. And also with as a sweldo pod, yeah, something like that. So it was really like, say at the time the dollar were very high. I think it was like the euro, I mean, was I think 75 peso. 1 year was 75. So I think we're kind of sending for the first few months 50,000 a month home.
Wow.
Yeah. So we thought that was big enough, but then again kay mabaguan po ng mga to sa Pilipinas kaya yung napertindagan ng kwarta, so they didn't save any money because every month the money is coming. So wala gyapon na tigom.
Mo ginahitabo.
Daghan ba ang mga Pilipino diya sa Ireland sa karon?
Yes, daghan kayo. As a matter of fact, adtong September kay ang fiesta sa Tangub is September 27, 28 man siguro.
29.
So last September 24, 25 na nagpista pod ang part sa Ireland nga puro taga Tangub halos.
Wow.
So, yeah, so nagpista pod sila in sa as pahinungod pod sa pista sa Tangub. So yeah, daghan kayong Pilipino, and now especially nga kasagaran katong year puro taga Tangub, so nga minyo nang uban and family expanded. So yeah, daghan kayong Tangub sa part near Dublin kind of part of Ireland. Kildare.
So, sa Dublin mo siya sa duol mo sa Dublin, ma'am?
No, we are 3 hours drive. 3 hours drive. We're down the south of Ireland, so Dublin is kind of like I think it was kind of in the middle kind of country. So, but Kildare is where you find all the Tangubanons, yeah.
Okay.
County
Divine ka na manggong Dublin, ma'am, mo na diha ang center nindot kina diha inyong arts and culture niya. Dunay mga estudyante diha nga mo mag-tour about music kanang Dublin. Kuan gina siya, sentro na siya kay sa Ireland. Kay I'm supposedly be going to Ireland 5 years ago tungod sa akong anak, pero na-cancel. Kanya usa sa Attorney Divine, usa moingong kag Ireland, ang ma-remember nako ang St. Patrick.
Yeah. St. Patrick's is celebrated all over the world, and I think it's even bigger here in New York. Yeah, but it is a big celebration. Yeah, St. Patrick.
Okay. So, Job, katong pag-abroad nimo sa Ireland, was it your first time nga nitrabaho ka or ni-abroad ka?
It was my first time abroad. Actually, naamo ko Siemens book kay magbarko lagi. Diba sa MIT, it's a maritime school. So I took SOLAS, unsa pa nang mga requirement to sa magbarko ay kanang sa
Cruise ship.
Cruise ship, yeah. So that was the plan. So I actually went to Manila to apply for it. I have my everything was sorted. Then nalay nagka-problema lang in sa medical. So motong wala na dayon. That was 1999. And then when napag-uli na ako sa Tangub, katong na-fail to siya, pag-uli na ako sa Tangub, motong ingon ni mama nga, there is an Ireland if you want to try this one. So yeah, motong 2000 moto na siya. Pero my first time.
Hindi ba lisod ang pag-apply nimo, ma'am, paingon sa Ireland?
No, because we went through an agency. Like, so nami kanang, I just want to mention her, Ate Caga, which was from Ireland as well. So she was the one who was she has a partner in Tangub. Mo sila mo nag kind of work together, nagngita og mga employers sa Ireland. So at the time, Ireland was looking for loads of workers. So from that, so that's why there's loads of people from Tangub, because she was from Tangub originally, and her partner was from Tangub. So like loads of, like especially in the hospitality section, that's why loads of us went to a hotel jobs. Because that was the time, I think they call it a Celtic Tiger. It was like the Ireland was really booming. So they were looking for a lot of workers for hospitality and all those, and even the hospitals as well. Like, but mostly some hotels and restaurants.
Mm-mm. Kumusta ang mga tao sa Ireland? Kay kita Brad Tony dili kay ta familiar no sa mga Irish how they treated the tourists, kumusta sila mo treat sa mga OFWs o ang ilang culture unsa imong naobserbahan because ang Tangog probinsya siya no nya napunta mo sa Ireland. Ireland unya kumusta ilang culture, kumusta ang treatment sa mga tao ngadto sa mga foreigners?
So they're very easy people actually. Yeah, they are pleasant people. So like I think there is a similarity to Irish and Filipino actually. Kai, they're very family oriented as well. And like they're just easygoing people. You know, I don't see a lot of discriminations from our Irish point of view to the Filipinos, and also they actually acknowledge Filipinos, the fact that loads of Filipinos works in hospitals. So I think kind of mostly from that point, you know, they really kind of they accepted Filipinos as a part of the if you like the lifestyle here because of the fact that you know ang mga elderly is looked after by Filipinos, hospitals, loads of Filipinos, and Filipinos are very like you know kita family orientated magita, so when we take good care of people ato mang yung kuan mura ra pug atong pamilya ba, so at that murag so Irish people are really they're very generous too, so especially when we have like for example natay mga kalamidad sa Pilipinas, they're big into their charity. So they do a lot of charities. So for example, kato nangulik kami sa mga bagyo sa Pilipinas, they're really very generous and kind. They don't ask they just give. So they're very generous that way as well. So I like, and they're good. They're happy people. They're like they like to joke around. They're not very sensitive people. So you know, like when you joke around, especially where I come from, so you can have a banter with them and they laugh at your jokes, and you know they're just very acceptable. They're easy people, and yeah, I think that's one of the mga maayong attributes sa Irish people. They're very acceptable and they're very you know they see you as you know they don't question if you're I just think some cultures will be like if you're not from their country they kind of class you as second class people, but with Irish just accept you as you know you are Filipino. Oh, Filipino, you're very happy people. I said, yeah, we are.
Sa imong
So,
pagpatrabaho, ma'am, naka-encounter ka og discrimination?
I think so much so. Like, I think it's a general kind of, you know, when they see you as, kay pag nakita man gud kanila nga murag Asian look, so they're very into like you could be Chinese or you could be that, and I think they would. It's more like the older generation, I think, which is understandable kay dili man sila kanang sa di ba sa different cultures, so dili sila willing to travel at that time, so dili sila exposed. They assume, I think, straight away that because you don't look European or Western, that you can't speak English. Mora na siya nga kung namatikdan nga they kind of they talk to you slowly. Kana bitang murag i-assume nila nga you're from a country, therefore you may not be kind of very fluent in speaking our language. But other than that, no, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a very sensitive person, and maybe they have discriminated me. I don't. It doesn't affect me maybe as well. So you know, so so like. I don't take personally anyways, but so far I don't think so anyways. I think they're good people.
So for how long ka nga nag-work sa hotel before nimo na-meet si Paddy, your husband?
Oh, he was working. See, he was in college at the time. He was doing masters, so he lived near the hotel. So at weekends he would be working. So diri no ang mga students sa gawas while they're studying, they're working at the same time for their pocket money.
Yeah.
And our Ireland, they like to drink. They like to go to pubs on weekends. So they have to have pocket money for that. So while they're studying, they're also working. So Paddy was working part-time in the bar, which is connected to the restaurant in the hotel that I work. So that's how I met him. And so I think I'm very outside. My personality is very out there. so we were the first Filipino to come to the hotel. So they're not really exposed to like Filipinos. So they look at us from another planet, for example. Like I mean, there's not many Asian people who come to the hotel. There's mostly European or Irish, for example.
Yeah.
So we came anyways, and I'm just out there. So we started talking, and I think Paddy is into kind of like research and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of, I think he had an idea about a small idea about Philippines, and then we started talking in a way, and I said, look, yeah, whatever. And I think I met him there, and yeah, the rest is history then, because ipayag siyang gibati na yun, ah.
So pila ka
Dugayon. So I was there for first year, and I think it started kind of we became friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a kind of a flat that the four of us stayed with the guy as well. So we became kind of very friendly with the bar staff, because we're restaurant and bar. We kind of work together. So I think Paddy, and he's very shy. He's very, very shy. So he kind of starts kind of coming into our flat, just for kind of like, because Filipinos always have big parties, yeah. So every time nga mag day of May, na parties, party. So we just ask them, and it's all new to them, because sa ilaha mo adto silang pub and then home. But like house parties with food, like their parties is more on drinks, but Filipino parties more on food. So there's another guy as well who likes to come with him to our flat. They like it because there's food there. So that's how it started. So I think after it's probably a year, yeah, after a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
And then sa dihang nagka-uyab na mo ni visit si Paddy sa Philippines.
So 2000, so he had to go to America to do his study, PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in 2003, and we were kind of going out kind of already. Then he came home, and then he wanted to meet the parents. So 2004, we went to the Philippines for the first time. This is before we got married. So we got married in 2005, but 2004 December, first time niya nga nakakuwid siya nako sa Pilipinas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So nihigayon na mo commercial break o nata sa atong pagbalik, Brad Tony, atong hisgutan kung kumusta man ang pag-visit ni Paddy sa Pilipinas, especially nga first time siya nga naka-visit sa Pilipinas, no? Unsay tanaw niya sa atong culture ug uban pa. Standby, mubalik ta human niini.
Discover the beauty of the Philippines. With Philippine Airlines, the country's flag carrier. The airline that lets you feel the warmth of the nation. Mabuhay!
Okay, balik ta sa atong tulumanon CCTN International Pinoy Journey. So Brad Tony, atong tiwason ang atong interview with Jovy, and this time atong pangmustahon siya kung unsay nahitabo sa first time nga nagbisita ang iyang husband sa Philippines. At that time, dili pa mo kasal, Job.
Dili pa mi kasal, so like formality, siguro I'm old-fashioned. So before I just wanted to go home first because that was my first time coming home as well after I came to Ireland. So ingon man siya mukuy siya para daw pud mamit niya akong papagmama. Manangkin lang pud kay I think we were planning to get married. I'm very old-fashioned, so I don't want to live with him before marriage. So mo to ning uli mi 2004, but before meaning uli ako na siyang gitagaan og enough information about the Philippines. So nga we're not we're not as hanabitang planchado pareha sa Ireland. So ang mga balay sa Pilipinas lahi sa balay sa Ireland, ang kultura sa mga tawo lahi. So I think ato nga time 2004 wala po kaayo yung mga foreigner nga nakadto sa Tanggob. So ang mga taga amua pud sa Migkanaway, so they're not used to having people from Americans because everyone that comes to the Philippines is all Americans. So ako na siyang gitagaan og good idea kung dili mi dato daghang mga tao sa among balay and the culture nga pasanaa gani moabot nga foreigner magtapok ta ng tawo na daghang bata magtapok. So ako na siyang gitagaanan na tanan nga mga information para dili bitaw siya ma-culture shock. And so Paddy is very, I suppose Paddy is very humble. So dili siya bitaw ka ng artihon nga pagkatao, which is siguro kung artihon siya dili pud mi magminyo kay maka-turn off na ako. So the fact that he's very down to earth nga kaya ra po nimo, cowboy ra po siya, mo na siguro nga nagminyo mi. Pero sumo to pag abot niya sa Pilipinas, I told him nga daghang tao mga ito kwarta. Bisag dili pa ta kasal, tando lang ta pero ilgo ta mohatag ug natay hatag na wala pud wala. So then daghang mga bata labi na kay puti kang kuan ingno kanilang Joe because everyone is Americans. So i-explain lang po nato nga you're not American, you're Irish. So we're not mostly very into. So ang ato man yung nadak nga mga Americans magitanan. So Irish, where's Ireland? Even myself before, like I have to Google where's Ireland. So mga bata nagtapok na, so I said ing namang goy sa mong gawas na abi tay murag bilyaran. So ningon ko ni Paddy nga malipay man gud mi katong sa gagmay paminga na makakita mig mga Amerikano, malipay mig na mga Amerikano nga musulti namo. So ang imong buhaton, you have to sit down sa bilyaran dayon tanang mga bata ko makisulti sila nimo because makalipay man nila kasi I know when I was bata pa ko malipay man ko. So ta dito magtambay ta dito para kuan malipay itong mga bata. So mao na mong ginahimo. So pag abot niya dito na siya idea nga mauni mo na. So everyone was saying, oh Paddy or Joe, give us money. So kabalon na siya sa mga ingana. So dili na siya maingon bitaw nga mauni mo na. So gingnan po na ako siya nga you don't take it personally. Maorigi na siya it's all harmless. So I suppose it was a wise thing to do nga ako na siyang gitagaga idea daan kung unsa ang atong pamaagi sa tuwa, which is I said you don't look down on people just because ingana mi, it's just our culture, and I suppose thank God as well nga si Paddy dili pud siya bitaw ka ng ingana nga pagkatao. So ning work ra pud siya pag ato niya dito. So at this time dili na siya tawag Joe. Second time Paddy na ang itawag sa mga tao bisag mga driver og sikad, bisag mga silingan nga umi kaila, kabalo na siya nga dili siya Joe, Paddy siya, he's Irish.
That was the first time nga si Paddy nakasakay og tricycle, jeep, kay mao man na sa ato and I don't think na sa Ireland.
Wala, commuter from Tanggob to Samis nga kanang kinahanglan puno kayo nga gamay kayo masulod sa iyang lingkuranan. Oh yeah, which is I think for him he enjoyed it because he's genuine. He wanted to see a different culture. He's not he's not into like I want to stay in a hotel. So at the time among balayg mo pay pag-ayo, so gubot pa kaayo nagkan pang mga tao mga kwarta. So in a way I think I wanted him to see what it's like. I don't want to cover it up. I don't want to be superficial nga mao ni kinahanglan na I wanted him to see what it's like. So in the morning we go to the market, we buy our whatever we need to buy. We go to sa mga silingan ako nga gusto nako makita. We went there. I said you have to you have to say hello. I wanted to see him, which is I think he enjoyed it very much because you know, when like I think he can na po siya ma-meet nga mga ingana pero mga to dito when they talk they can't relate to what Patty is saying because they haven't experienced it. So I think in a different level it humbles him, Paddy, kay you know, it makes him feel like part of a Filipino culture when he was doing all those things, which is nice, I thought.
Mhm.
Nakakuan ba siya? Advantage ba siya sa nakabanaka o European? Nya after nga nakahibaw sa nimo nga ibsa nato ikadinay nga usama sa ka sa part sa powerful woman nang imo lang exposure sa Pilipinos considering nga naka sa media unya pagkahibaw niya nimo nga naa ka ana nga industry nakatabang basad sa iyang nga murag nakuha sa nimo or murag nakamanipulate ka niya ba or dili sad ka na kayo nga dito ko nimo maasa-asa.
No, I wanted him to see not that side. I wanted him to see because I wanted him to see if he wants to have me, if he wants to want me, I wanted him to want me that way.
Mhm.
So over time, nakalearn na siya nga. I used to work there. I was there. I you know, but I think for the start, for the very first part of it, ako yung gituyo nga gusto gyud ko makabalo nga si Paddy. This is us. We're not rich. This is I have all these people. And also another thing is that ako pong ginan si Paddy nga I came to Ireland to help my parents, my family. So at cuz di ba ang kultura sa Pilipinas nga I don't know but I heard nga some husbands, you know, they give out for helping the family back home because it's not part of their culture. You know, kung manginabuhi ta diri dapat sa atong pamilya ra. But I always say to Paddy nga I'm going to be working because I'm going to be working partly for my parents, for my family. So ana nga so nana siya mga I suppose it's nana siya mga consideration or it wasn't a choice. This is me. Whether you accept me or not, this is it. So I think you know he made his choice around that. So he has a choice of saying, look, I want to find someone better for me. But I suppose you know when he choose to so mo to siya kung basis nga well it might be true love because if you want to accept me of who I am and then over time he learned that you know I work there I have this experience and also the first time that he came to the Philippines I actually walked in Osamis at that time. Osamis was not the nicest place to walk around after 6 o'clock at night. So we walked around there. We walked to Tinago. We walked to the Gigi Mega Mall, and then we went to Iligan because I have a few friends in Iligan. So we walked to the sa Pantalan sa Iligan. We went to places where I wanted to visit. I wanted to visit the people that I'm friendly with, and they're not the richest people in the world, you know. I wanted to see him that part of culture, the Philippines. Kay, as moment yun na siya ang tinuod, diba? Dili man tayo yung datong country. So, ana, mura pong siya, paminaw niya, like I said, he felt like he's being part of that, you know, like every time he talked to people who have been to the Philippines, he feels like he had an extra advantage because he experienced all those things. Like we ride a bus from, say, for example, I don't know, in Cebu, for example, we walk from, I don't know where, like not the rough place. I think ako magud natubo magud ko nga I don't have any fears. I can walk by myself at 2 o'clock in Tondo. You know, I wanted to bring that to him, and I know it's not a wise thing to do because he's foreigner.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was praying to the Lord keep us safe. But I just wanted Patty to experience this one. I wanted to see him the behind the scenes of the Philippines because Philippines in like tourism point of view, it's very nice.
Yeah.
You go to Boracay, you go to you know, you go to Makati, yeah, you go to all the beaches. Bohol.
Yeah.
I wanted him to see the behind the scene part of that. Like even there was one time that I didn't feel well nasa mami sa Osamis ning una kog uli nagcommuter ko nagpabilin pa siya sa Osamis because he had to do something for I think it was like some sort of gadget or something and I didn't feel well so last time nga nabalakan na akong magpapa kay alas 7 na wala pa siya kauli you know ko sa Osamis so and then we went to Tango kay nangutana mi sa tanan nga ning aging nga commuter wala si Paddy. Ginoo ko nagsugod akong kakuba. Yes. And actually so there ayun ang driver nga naay last trip nagampo ko nga Lord I hope nga he gets into the last trip or he's wise enough to check in sa di ba naman to'y Royal Garden or atong atbang sa Gaisano nga hotel. So I was just praying he will be wise enough not to take that risk. And I felt guilty for coming home, but I trusted him that this is now maybe 2 or 3 times he's been to the Philippines, so he would have an idea of what to do. But then when we were waiting for the last trip, na driver sa Sikad, singgit siya na ako nga, ate, imong ba na to sa Julius, nagpalit og pan.
So nakasakay di ay sa uban nga.
Sakay sa last trip dayon because he's used to every time we come home, di ba mo palit matag paragasa?
Oo.
So ning mapit siya sa Julius, ning palit siya pan para dalon namo, padalon pa ulit sa mo.
Sa pagbisita niya mo sa Pilipinas, first reaction niya after nga nakita na niya about the weather.
I think because of the idea that I already shared with him. See, Paddy has he doesn't have any opinion about things. You know, whether pobre ka, whether this ka, unsa ka, he doesn't have any opinion about that, which is the most things I like about him. You know, he will say to me that such and such. So, pag uli na mo sa Pilipinas first time, pagbalik na mo sa Ireland, na siya yung mga few letters na ipadala sa mga silingan. Kaya mangita og ginpal. Like, you know, he doesn't see them as like, oh, why is she doing that to me? He takes it, and I said, look, yeah, if I can help you, I help you. So yeah, I suppose with the first impression that he has with Paddy is that Filipinos are very happy. You know, we get on with life. We you know, like I think most foreign as well, when they're like true people, they'll appreciate Philippines because bisan sa atong kapobrihon, we really you know, we converse, we try to converse, and among mga silingan bisag magkadimaw ang istorya. Muhapit yun sa balay mo, hi Paddy, you know, he likes that part, he likes that, and it doesn't matter if, you know, if nami among, so we will try, we are trying now to what you call them, sa among mga anak mo na among gitry karon nga for the Philippines as well. So salamat po sa Ginoo, among mga anak ingana po batasan, so they like to go to the Philippines, they likes to play with those kids that are, you know, playing on the streets. So yeah, I suppose we need to kind of, I suppose the humility is really the one thing that I wanted for them to learn about the Philippines.
So unsa nahitabo, Jov, pag-visit niya after a year or pila ka year, una mo ni balik para magpakasal kay sa Tangub City man mo nagpakasal, di ba?
So 2004 minang uli, December, Christmas Tangub, was the first time niya. Dayon, pagka 2005, nagminyo mi.
Aha. Kumusta ang inyong kasal sa Tangub? Kay I think lahi ang klase ang preparation sa wedding sa Pilipinas kaysa Ireland.
Oh, yeah. So we got married in 2005 dito sa Ireland. So my parents weren't able to come because of the visa. So because I don't want to live with him before marriage, so mo to nagminyo me without my parents. So that was 2005. Pagka 2006, I wanted my parents to be there, so we were planning to do a renewing of vows. So at that time, natunong po nga naay reality TV show. It's called Brides of Frank. I don't know if you're familiar with the katubitang movie nga Brides of Frank, Weddings by Frank. Katubitang very lavish wedding. Anyways, it was wedding coordinators Ireland. Murag nagkuan sila usat at it's like a reality TV show. So you're supposed to apply whatever. So they're supposed to pick 5 couples, for example. Pero ato nga time, minyo na good mini Paddy, mag-renew lang mi sa vows. But wala man ko gibuhat, gusto nag-apply kunuhay ko. So it happens after a few days, gitawagan mi nila, they wanted to do our wedding in the Philippines because nakuan po sila na mura po sila na conscious sa, 'di ba, explain mo ang wedding sa ang wedding dire, you go to a hotel,
Yeah.
no kids, just couple, everything, you stay in the hotel, you pay. Sa Pilipinas, ingon ko nga, sa Pilipinas man good, you have to invite the whole village,
Guys.
example.
Yeah.
Kay bisag dili na mo imbitahon ng among silingan nga imong imbitahon, ang yang silingan ya pong imbitahon na tanan imbitahon. So muras lang na intriga. So and then we say we'll have roast pig, lechon. We have about 5 of those because it has to feed the whole village, and we have to chicken. So mo to na intriga sila. So they contacted us if they can do the wedding. It was actually a very expensive wedding because it was the TV station in Ireland would have to pay them €50,000 for one episode. Yeah. So they fly over to the Philippines and they did so we did the lechon, we did the thing, and they did a whole so there was an incorporation of Irish dancing and the Filipino tradition. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was it was good. I think we had about over 500 to 600 people. I just said to my mother, just invite everyone. I don't know them because I've been there. I've been away for 6 years. So katong mga silingan, basta ang importante katong mga silingan ako nga mga silingan nato nga mga kuan kay mo to imbitahan gito sila, pero kanang uban mo imbitahan nga wala ko ilahala imbitahatanan. So what happened was we had the wedding in Tangob. Everyone came. Di ba sa tuwa pag na wedding naman na mag security sa gate para dili mga gate crash, dili magkuan. Instructed them. Ako silang instructionan nga anyone can come. We have so much food. I wanted everyone to eat it. It's my only way of saying thank you. Thank you, I suppose. So daghang kayo nagparking kasi.
Parking kasi.
Pahala basta tanan pag kay daghan man kayong pagkaon. So I suppose you have all this food, you have to feed everyone. So mo to daghan kay nagparking nga sikad-sikad, bahala na din katong mga decorations nga mga daghan kaayo. We give it to everyone. All I wanted really is to have everyone. I don't care if I know them. I don't care, wala ko kaila nila. I don't care. There's food there to eat, so we'll have this. It's like a big celebration anyway. So I said, Lord, thank you that I have this opportunity where I can do this. I suppose, if you think about it, you can earn those money back, but you can never have this opportunity all the time. So this is like a big feast. We'll have everyone together. So yeah, I think it was really good. Yeah.
So sinahitabo, kamo ko'y nag-prepare sa food, but sa preparation sa wedding, sa flowers, sa decoration, sa venue sila.
So they came with the crew. I think there's about 6 TV crew, because they have to document it to show it in Ireland.
Yeah.
So we had to go to Cebu, Taps, I think. Is that Taps? Where they sell all the orchids.
Yeah.
Orchids, yes. Yeah. So we had to go there because I wanted orchids for the wedding. I wanted something minimal but nice, So then we went to, I think the wedding planner, he had hired people from Tangob to help out with the bamboos, with the cooking, and because it was our wedding, but I think he gave like $20 each, for people who have helped. I think he has so many helpers anyways. So from the decorations, they decorated everything. I think from the cooking, we have people cooking anyways, but from the buying and all that kind of things. But overall, they were coordinating every single thing that it will be nice for the show, I suppose. So yeah, it was nice. It was a good experience.
And also, ang family ni Paddy ni attend sa inyong wedding?
No, they weren't able to go, which was okay because they were there at the first wedding anyway. So this was really for my parents. So and my parents was akong mga silingan. Akong mga silingan. So I like to go home. When I go home, I like to magluto sa balay, then katok mga silingan nga kung imbitaron mura bag, instead of I can't afford to give money to every single one. So what I do is I cook a lot of food and then I'll just invite everyone and we'll have a laugh.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to, and I think I like to think nga kung mga silingan, this is still see me as when I was little, when I was in the Philippines, I want them to see me as the same.
Mhm.
So every time I go home, I may not have the money for everyone, but I am surely can, have something for us to magsalo-salo. So yeah.
Mm-mm. Okay. So, karon pila na edad sa inyong mga anak?
So Freya is 13 and Maya is 10. So they've been to the Philippines, I think Freya four times and Maya 3 times.
Mhm. Okay. So, ganahan sila mo visit sa Tango?
Yeah, they really do. As a matter of fact, when we book New York, it's very expensive. It's actually equivalent to a trip to the Philippines, but we just wanted to see New York and different states of the U.S. anyway. So we said, look, we'll do it, and maybe hopefully by the time, because of COVID, anyways, I wasn't too sure how it worked, and I don't want to be kind of like, dili ko gusto dagang hassle. So hopefully they said like we will be more excited, ma'am, kung dito to sa Pilipinas paingon.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
Gikan sa Ireland paingon sa Pilipinas, pila ka oras?
So 2 flights may mo. Wala may direct flight from Ireland. So from say Cork to Amsterdam, mga 2 hours man siguro. Then Amsterdam to Singapore. Say for example, if you want to go Singapore, that's at 13 hours, and then Singapore to Cebu. Now I think you can do from Dublin. I think you can do Dublin to Hong Kong, and then to either Manila or Cebu. But because we're we're South country, so we need to I think there's 3 flights before we get to Cebu, and then to Samis, then 4th flight. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So it's like a whole day travel, 24 hours and more.
Mhm. Okay. So nahigayon na Brad Tony atong paminawon ang husband ni Jovy si Paddy sa iyang message og unsang
Okay.
hinabuang nganong nabihag siya ni Jovy, and of course ato sang paminawon ang iyang mga anak kung unsay ganahan nila sa Philippines, unsay ilang mga favorite nga food, unsay ganahan nila sa Pilipinas.
When I first met Jovy, I think the first thing that I noticed was her personality. She was very bubbly and very happy, and she was never having a bad day. Everything was happy, and everything was good. And I think that's what started to draw me to her initially. And then as we got to know each other more, obviously our affections grew from. So I think one of the first things that I noticed when I went to the Philippines, and it kind of started as well in Ireland, is whenever we went to parties or met other Filipinos, we were always very welcomed, and I always felt we were very welcomed over there as well. The Filipino people are very open and are interested in other cultures and other nationalities, and I really liked that. That was a very it settled me down, I think, when I went over there first. One of the things I noticed though is, being one of the only white people in Jovy's town, a lot of people call me Joe or Cano, and what I didn't understand at first, Jovy explained to me that it was from the days gone by of the American soldiers, but the more we went there, people started dropping the Joe and they started calling me Hey Paddy, and I thought that I just felt a connection. I feel that people, they were respecting me, and I feel I could respect them back. And I suppose what I mean from that is that I was over time I was made to feel more welcome in not just Jovy's family, but in the whole community over there. And it was just easy to be able to kind of be accepted and blend into the community. And that was, that's a nice thing that I have. So I think one thing that I've noticed is that Filipinos like to eat. They like to have parties and celebrations, and at the center of all those celebrations is the food. And of course there's so many dishes that I've been introduced to. From an Irish person growing up and having potatoes 5 or 6 or 7 times a week, to moving to rice has been an interesting challenge, but I like it. I don't mind rice now at all. And Jovy does some lovely cooking and very similar dishes to back home. I like her humba, her adobo, her lumpia. But being over in the Philippines, some of the things I miss would be the crabs, especially as Jovy lives close to the shoreline. And when we go and visit, of course, yes, we lechon on top of that as well. And the food is just so fresh, and so it's just so satisfying. It's really nice. It's very nice.
What are the things that you like about the Philippines, and what kinds of food you like the most? Filipino foods.
So the things we like, I think I like the people there. I think they're very friendly and very just like welcoming. Basketball. And I like the food there as well.
And what kind of food you like?
What kind of food? I like halo and biko.
Biko, pandesal, and what else in the morning, the breakfast especially?
Budbud.
Spanish bread.
Putumaya served with?
Mango or fresh mango.
And what places have you been?
Lechon.
Lechon, yeah. What places you have been to? What places that you have visited in the Philippines? Samis. Of course, Tango.
Lots of Boracay.
Boracay, okay.
Probably was my favorite because it was really nice there and the beaches and stuff.
Yeah, same for you, Maya. Boracay. Yeah. Must be your favorite place. Okay, so you like lechon, putumaya, everything. Mostly, I think you'll eat anything anyway.
Mostly, probably either lechon or halo-halo.
Okay.
Okay, so mo to ang husband ni Jovy ug ang iyang mga anak Jov. So unsay culture sa Pilipinas nga sa natong mga Filipino nga gusto nimo dili mawa para sa imong mga anak, especially Brad Tony, kay ang mga anak is born and raised in Ireland, no? So lahi man gyud kung although na si Jovy lahi na gani siya og accent. Di ba? So unsay culture sa mga Pinoy nga gusto nimong naa sa imong mga bata, mapasa sa imong mga anak?
I think the very best, ang akong gusto gyud nga gina-influence gyud nila is to really help out. I think Filipinos will like to, as much as possible, bisag wala ta basta makatabang ta, we will do, sometimes sa atong pamilya, for example, di ba, magsige matagtabang, and also to tabang nga walay expectation for a return. Mao ginakuha nga sa ilaha nga, and also to think that we're never above anyone's, we're always going to be the same as everyone. If like for example, kung mo tumog Pilipinas, for example, you talk to the people as if they're of the same. We're the same. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who they are. We're the same. We're the same because we are the same. That's the reality of it. You're not better than anyone. And if they say, I think my personality is, if they say something to you and it's not true, you don't get affected by it. And if they say something to you and it's true, then you don't get affected because it's true. And I'd like to think that Filipinos would have more that sense of kanang bitang dili magsigi og dili bitang magsigi kanang basta very acceptable in terms of di ba kung naay mo bisita nato nga murag malipay ta nga kanang moabi-abi. So I wanted him to be the same. I wanted him to be the same, that, as much as she can, be generous in everything. I think Filipinos are generous anyways, mutabang especially. So I want them to have that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so most likely we'll visit mo after a year or 2 years sa Philippines from now.
So hopefully, I because my dad passed away suddenly in 2020, so I wasn't able to go home because of the COVID. So I was hoping to go home either myself first, but I think from what I can hear, they wanted to come anyway. So hopefully in the next, hopefully late next year or maybe early the following year.
I think okay naman ang wa na may mga restrictions ron so far, di ba?
Wala na, okay na.
Yeah,
so,
okay na siya.
Magtigom sa tagpamiliti sa aeroplano.
Plite mahal this time. Di ba, Brad Tony?
Yeah.
Plite?
Mahal kaayo.
So, pagkakaroon, pertigyo mahala. Mangutana ako ni Jovy nga, Job, so ayan ba din mo nga kanang Attorney Divine nagpangutana when I was arriving naabot ko diri sa Canada bago pa ko. Kaya ko sa ka McDonald's. Unya kanilaging ignorante pa kay tag unsa dining dine in and dine out kay kuan ba yata sa ato. Unsa ning take out or sa take
out.
Wala kay or kahibaw ta na pero wala kay ta may-use ba. Mandain ko, are you Filipina? Hingin na siya. No, I am a Canadian.
Okay. I think I experienced when I was working in the hotel. So sa restaurant, so mag-order man like drinks. So I have to go to the bar to get their drinks. And one of the barman, I think, hingon siya nako nga, could you just bring these orders to the Canadian? And ingon ko, I don't know which one is Canadian, which one is Irish. Because they all look the same, di ba? Mga puti, tanan pareha sila. Ikatahuan ko nila kay, ingon sila nga, you just have to listen to the accent, you know which one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Job, ako
Yeah, so
mga paano mag-good job, labi nang makahibaw ko ang accent Bisaya. Bisaya ka no, may nga naman kuya. Murag ang imong ilong bisngag kaayo.
Kanakod ka na.
Usa sa mga.
Like.
Actually, muna, no, ang mga Pinoy, Pinoy tuod sila, pero Irish na, Canadian na, American. Pero,
Attorney Divine, si Mabel is Irish ang ihang daddy. Si Mabel Elmore ba katong member sa Legislative Assembly nga niya karon sa British Columbia. Kasi Filipino Irish, ang iyang daddy is Irish.
Okay.
Actually, even though I have an Irish passport, I always say bisan ni Paddy, bisan sa akong mga anak, ko I'm Filipino, born and bred. I'm Filipino. I'm always going to be Filipino at heart. I don't care. Like, naman po yung mga banggol nga, di ba, nasa US, they're like, oh, I'm whatever. I'm always going to be Filipino. It doesn't matter, makita man po sa atong nawong. So, di ba? So, I'm always going to be Filipino no matter what. So,
I realize sa job, no, nga, if you're a Filipino living in a foreign land, di ka makarealize how beautiful is your culture, ang inyong food, ang inyong, the way you kana bitaw mo care sa ubang tao, di ka maka-appreciate nga lahi tang mga Pilipino.
Yeah, lahi
Anak sa ka makarealize sa ni Divine nga sus ang avocado gitamak-tamakan ra manis carbon.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah. And our food, my two, I think Patty as well, but my two girls, they really love the Bisaya food. Yeah.
Food, yeah. Okay. So what naman tayo ikong oras, Job? Unsa imong parting message para sa mga nagtanaw na to karon, para sa mga taga-Tangob? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Anyway, I didn't think that my life is exciting enough to be shared. But anyways, here we are, and I just want to say, I'm forever grateful to God for this opportunity that sa kinabuhi ngayong gihatag nako, and for the family that He's given me. It's a beautiful family. I hope I hope that's the reality of it. For me, anyways, it's a beautiful family. I wanted to say for everyone, pareha nato nga nasa gawas, we'll just keep our head down, we'll pray, and we'll say thank to God for the opportunity in the life that we have. And there's no point of complaining anyways, but live the life the way you want it to be. Whatever we have, just be contented. And if we have enough money, if we have spare money, then enjoy your life. If we don't, then we just make the most of it. Yeah. So but anyways, just to be grateful to God all the time.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So thank you kayo, Job, sa imong time. Thank you ni Paddy ug sa imong mga anak. Salamat sa ilang mga message. So I hope nga sa mga nagtanaw nato karon, dili biya ingon ana sa tanang higayon, Brad Tony, no, nga makaproblema ang atong culture bisag maminyo ta og dili pareha nato nga mga Pinoy. I think it depends upon yun sa tao kung unsa unya pag-accept, no?
Yes.
Okay, bisan gani og Pinoy ang atong kapit times na amang yun ng problema, no? So depende ra gyud na sa magtiayon unsaon sa pag-adjust. So Brad Tony, imong parting message, go ahead.
Patay Attorney Divine, magita magtuo nga gikan sa Cebu, paingon sa Canada, karon naabot ta og Ireland. So nagpasalamat ta nga usa na pod ka journey nga ang atong nahibaw-an karon na diskubrehan. Og salamat ni Jovy for sharing her journey. Unya maghinaot ta nga ang atong viewers magpermanente nga magsubay ka nato on the same time on the same station here and CCTN International Pinoy Journey.
Okay, thank you Brad Tony and thank you Jov sa imong time ug sa atong mga nagtanaw karon. Salamat kaayo. So amo mong invite to next week dinhi lang sa inyong paboritong tulumanon CCTN International Pinoy Journeys. Have a nice day everyone. God
Thank you. Salamat kayo. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.